Greetings, everyone. My name is Aaron Christensen. This is Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and welcome back to Scare-A-Thon 2024, benefiting the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. If you'd like to know more about the fundraiser, please go to this video right here, and you'll find out all the details. The link to donate is below in the description of this video, and we'd love it if you'd make a donation today. We are about a third of the way through the month, so no time to waste. Today, we're going to be talking about the first Omen from 2024. It came out earlier this year. It is directed by Arkasha Stevenson, and this appears to be her feature debut, and she also contributed to the script. Now, as you may have inferred, this is part of the Omen legacy, the one that kicked off in 1976, starring Gregory Peck and Lee Remick. And this is a prequel to the events of that film. Starts off in 1971 in Rome, and we meet Sister Margaret, who is in from America. Sister Margaret is played by Nell Tiger Free, who people might know from the TV show Servant, and also she had a brief run on Game of Thrones. And Sister Margaret is here in Rome to take her vows and become a nun within the Catholic Church. And wouldn't you know it, she quickly finds out that there's some strange goings-on behind the scenes. She meets a priest who's played by Ralph Ineson, who people might recognize as the father from The Witch. And Charles Dance also has a brief cameo at the beginning of the film. Sonia Braga plays a Mother Superior type, and Bill Nighy plays a cardinal who has a vested interest in Margaret's fate. Now, if you think back to the 1976 Omen and its sequel, 1978's Damien Omen 2, those were kind of precursors to the Final Destination series, where we had a series of unlikely accidents where people were getting bumped off if they came too close to finding out Damien's identity as the Antichrist. That doesn't happen so much here. This is much more of a conspiracy story where there is a mysterious plot to bring the Antichrist into the world. Again, if we think about the fact that Damien was 5 years old in 1976, that means 1971, probably about the time he was born. And if you think back to the Omen mythology, you'll remember that Ambassador Thorne's child was murdered and replaced with Damien. And then when they dug up the crypt, they found out that the mother was in fact a jackal. Now, for some reason, that mythology has been changed, and probably because it made for a better story. But the father is now a jackal, and the mother is probably one of the sisterhood. This is another really handsomely produced film. It's clear that our director, Arkasha Stevenson, knows what she's doing, and she's got a lot of ambition. She's got some really artful shots created. There is a pretty gratuitous callback to the famous "It's All for You, Damien" from 1976, where a nanny jumps off a ledge and hangs herself. We get something that's pretty similar to that, and it doesn't seem to serve any purpose other than to remind everybody how cool that was. Because in the 1976 film, the nanny kills herself, and it makes room for Mrs. Blaylock to come in to be Damien's protector. Here, we just get somebody hanging themselves because, well, why not? But I'd say that's the only bit of really egregious fan service. Now, another film that came out earlier this year that covered similar terrain in a similar setting in Italy was Immaculate, and me and the boys talked about that on our Streaming and Screaming episode number 5, which is well worth checking out. Go visit that right here. And I have to say, if I had to choose between Immaculate and First Omen, I would probably go with Immaculate because there are some genuine surprises to be had there, and it goes places that you wouldn't imagine it would. But I'd say the First Omen is right behind it in terms of some gritty and really disturbing imagery. It's a worthy addition to the Omen canon. It's certainly better than Omen 4. And even if nobody was really clamoring for it, I don't think anybody will be sorry that they watched it. So that is the first Omen. The DVD that I picked up from the library didn't have any extras on it, so I don't know if there's a special edition Blu-ray out there that gives you a little bit more bang for your buck. And again, this is Scare-A-Thon 2024, benefiting the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. Please make a donation today via the link in the video, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.